Tired of struggling with poor soil drainage and pesky weeds? Discover the transformative power of rye cover crops and learn how to unlock a healthier, more productive garden. If you've been battling compacted soil, erosion issues, or constantly fighting weeds, rye cover crops might just be the game-changing solution you've been searching for. Why rye cover crops are your garden's best friend? Rye cover crops represent one of nature's most effective soil improvement strategies, offering benefits that extend far beyond what meets the eye. When you plant cereal rye in your garden, you're essentially recruiting a powerful ally that works tirelessly to transform your soil from the ground up. This remarkable grain doesn't just sit passively in your garden beds, it actively enhances your soil's structure, fertility, and overall health through a complex network of biological processes. The magic begins with rye's extensive root system, which can penetrate deep into the soil profile, sometimes reaching depths of 6 feet or more. These roots don't just anchor the plant, they create pathways for water and air movement, effectively breaking up compacted soil layers that might have taken years to develop. As these roots grow and eventually decompose, they leave behind channels that improve drainage while simultaneously creating spaces for beneficial soil organisms to thrive. What makes rye particularly special is its ability to add substantial organic matter to your soil. Throughout its growing season, rye produces impressive amounts of biomass both above and below ground. This organic matter becomes the foundation for improved soil structure, creating the crumbly, well-draining texture that all plants crave. The decomposing root material feeds countless soil microorganisms, establishing a thriving underground ecosystem that continues to benefit your garden long after the rye has been incorporated. Planting your rye cover crop for maximum success. Timing is everything when it comes to establishing a successful rye cover crop, and getting this right can mean the difference between a thriving soil improvement project and a mediocre attempt. So, the optimal planting window typically falls between late summer and early fall, which is about 6 to 8 weeks before your first hard frost. This timing, allows the rye to establish a strong root system while temperatures are still moderate. That way it can survive winter conditions and then resume vigorous growth in the spring. Choosing the right rye variety for your specific climate and soil conditions is, honestly, just crucial for achieving the best results. Winter rye varieties are generally preferred for cover crop applications because of their exceptional cold tolerance and their ability to remain dormant during those harsh winter months before they pick up growth again in spring. Annual ryegrass, while not technically a cereal grain, actually offers similar benefits and might be more appropriate in milder climates, especially where winter temperatures don't drop below freezing for extended periods. Soil preparation for rye planting doesn't need to be elaborate, but, attention to detail will pay dividends. A light cultivation or raking to create a smooth seed bed helps ensure good seed-to-soil contact, which is essential for proper germination. Rye seeds should be planted at a depth of about ½ an inch to 1 inch, with seeding rates typically ranging from 90 to 120 pounds per acre for pure stands, or roughly 2 to 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet for home gardens. Water management during the establishment period is critical, especially if you're planting during drier conditions. While rye is, honestly, remarkably drought-tolerant once established, consistent moisture during the first few weeks after planting ensures rapid germination and vigorous early growth. If natural rainfall is insufficient, light irrigation every few days can help establish a strong stand. The remarkable benefits of rye cover crops. Well, they really go beyond just adding organic matter to your soil. Rye acts as a living nutrient bank, capturing and holding on to those essential minerals that might otherwise leach away during the winter months. This nitrogen scavenging ability is particularly valuable because it prevents those valuable nutrients from washing out of your soil, while also keeping them readily available for your spring crops. Weed suppression is another area where rye truly excels, offering both physical and chemical control methods that can honestly dramatically reduce your workload. The dense canopy that rye creates blocks sunlight from reaching weed seeds, which helps prevent germination of many common garden weeds. Additionally, rye produces these natural compounds called allelochemicals that can, inhibit the growth of certain weeds. This provides sort of a biological herbicide effect, and what's really interesting is that it continues even after the rye has been terminated. The impact on soil structure really cannot be overstated. Rye's fibrous root system creates countless channels throughout the soil profile, which improves both drainage in heavy soils and water retention in sandy conditions. This dual action helps create the ideal soil environment, where water can penetrate easily during heavy rains, but is also held in reserve during dry periods. Soil microbial activity receives a tremendous boost from rye cover crops. The constant supply of root exudates actually feeds beneficial bacteria and fungi, creating a thriving soil ecosystem that, processes nutrients more efficiently and helps protect plants from soil-borne diseases. This enhanced biological activity creates a self-sustaining cycle where healthy soil produces healthy plants, which in turn contribute to even better soil health. Harvesting and incorporating your rye cover crop is honestly a pretty important step. The termination timing for your rye cover crop is one of the most critical decisions you'll make in the entire process. Terminating too early means you won't maximize the biomass production and soil improvement benefits, while waiting too long can create problems with decomposition and nutrient tie-up. The ideal termination window typically occurs when the rye reaches the boot stage, just before flowering begins. At this point, the plant has accumulated maximum biomass while still maintaining relatively high moisture content that promotes rapid decomposition. So, there are several termination methods available, each with its own set of advantages depending on your garden size and, your management style. Mowing is often the simplest approach for smaller gardens, where you just cut the rye down to about 2 inches above ground level. This method really works best when it's followed by some light tilling, just to help incorporate all that cut material into the soil. For larger areas, crimping or rolling can be pretty effective, since these methods physically damage the stems to stop growth while leaving the material right on the surface as a mulch layer. The incorporation process, transforms your rye cover crop into a valuable soil amendment that keeps working long after all the visible plant material has disappeared. And when you're tilling rye into the soil, timing is really crucial to avoid that temporary nitrogen tie-up that can happen when high carbon materials start to decompose. Working the rye into the soil when it's still green and succulent, really helps minimize this issue because the higher nitrogen content in young plant tissue creates a more balanced carbon to nitrogen ratio. Composting rye provides another excellent option for maximizing its soil improvement potential. Chopped rye material, when mixed with other organic materials, creates a nutrient-rich compost that, honestly, can be applied throughout your garden. This approach, it does require more time, but it results in a more stable soil amendment that releases nutrients gradually over an extended period. Rye cover crops are, honestly, your garden's secret weapon for long-term success. The transformation that occurs in gardens using rye cover crops is nothing short of remarkable. Gardeners consistently report improvements in soil structure, reduced weed pressure, and enhanced overall plant health within just one growing season. The cumulative benefits become even more pronounced over time, as each season's rye crop builds upon the improvements made by previous plantings. Success with rye cover crops depends largely on viewing them as a long-term investment in your garden's health rather than a quick fix. The most dramatic improvements typically become apparent in the second and third years of consistent use, as soil organic matter levels increase and beneficial microbial populations become well established. This long-term perspective really helps maintain motivation during the initial learning phase when management techniques are still being refined. Integration with existing garden practices requires some adjustment, but, honestly, it becomes second nature with experience. Many gardeners find that rye cover crops actually simplify their overall garden management by reducing the need for frequent cultivation and weed control. The improved soil structure means less compaction from foot traffic, while the natural weed suppression reduces the time spent on maintenance tasks. The seasonal rhythm of planting, growing, and incorporating rye creates a really satisfying cycle that connects gardeners more deeply with their soil's natural processes. This hands-on approach to soil improvement gives, valuable insights into soil health that can inform decisions about fertilization, irrigation, and crop selection throughout the growing season. Whether you're a beginning gardener looking to improve challenging soil conditions, or an experienced grower seeking to enhance your sustainable gardening practices, rye cover crops offer a proven pathway to better soil health and, honestly, more productive gardens. The investment of time and effort required is honestly minimal compared to the long-lasting benefits you'll enjoy for years to come. Ready to transform your garden with the power of rye cover crops? Start planning your fall planting now, and don't forget to subscribe to Smart Garden for more soil building strategies and sustainable gardening tips. Share your rye cover crop experiences in the comments below. We'd really love to hear how this powerful soil improvement technique is working in your garden.